A long-expected party is the opening chapter of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring, the first book in his iconic Lord of the Rings trilogy. This chapter sets the stage for the story to come and introduces many of the key characters and themes that will be explored throughout the book. The chapter begins by describing the hobbit Bilbo Baggins, who is celebrating his 111st, or 111th, birthday party. Bilbo is a small, unassuming creature with curly hair and big, hairy feet. He is also a wealthy and somewhat eccentric hobbit, known for his love of adventure and his treasure hoard, which he accumulated during his travels many years ago. As the chapter unfolds, we see that Bilbo has decided to use his birthday party as an opportunity to announce his retirement from public life and to pass on his most prized possession, the magical ring that he found during his adventures, to his young cousin Frodo. The ring is revealed to be a powerful artifact that confers invisibility on its wearer and also has other mysterious powers that Bilbo does not fully understand. The party itself is a grand affair, with many hobbits from the Shire in attendance. The guests enjoy a feast of food and drink and are entertained by various performers, including a group of dwarves who sing and dance. Bilbo himself performs a comical song and dance routine that is a great hit with the crowd. However, things take a turn for the strange when Bilbo announces his retirement and presents Frodo with a ring. As Bilbo prepares to depart, he suddenly seems to age and become feeble, prompting some of the guests to speculate that the ring has some sort of malevolent power. The chapter ends with Bilbo making his departure, leaving behind a stunned and confused Frodo. Frodo realizes that he has been entrusted with a great responsibility and that the ring is far more than a mere trinket. He begins to suspect that dark forces are at work, and that his quiet life in the Shire may never be the same again. Overall, A Long-Expected Party is a lively and entertaining opening chapter that sets the stage for the epic adventure to come. It introduces many of the key characters and themes of the story, including Bilbo, Frodo, the magical ring, and the looming threat of dark forces. Chapter 2, The Shadow of the Past from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring picks up where the previous chapter left off. Frodo has been left with the magical ring by his cousin Bilbo, and he is struggling to understand its significance and the danger it poses. This chapter dives deeper into the history of the ring and introduces the character of Gandalf, who becomes Frodo's guide and protector. The chapter opens with Frodo trying to make sense of the strange behavior of his cousin Bilbo at his 111st birthday party. He begins to suspect that the ring he has been given is more than just a simple trinket and that it might be connected to Bilbo's strange behavior. Frodo becomes increasingly worried about the ring's power and decides to leave the Shire to seek the advice of his friend Gandalf. On his journey to meet Gandalf, Frodo is pursued by mysterious Black Riders who seem to be searching for the ring. He is saved from their clutches by a group of elves who warn him of the danger he faces and urge him to continue on his journey. When Frodo finally reaches Gandalf's home in the town of Bree, he finds that the wizard is not there. Instead, he meets a man named Strider, who claims to know about the ring and its history. Strider warns Frodo that he must keep the ring safe at all costs and that the dark forces of Sauron, the ring's creator, will stop at nothing to get it back. As Frodo and Strider talk, Gandalf suddenly appears, having returned from his travels. Gandalf reveals that the ring is the One Ring, the source of Sauron's power and the key to his defeat. He explains that the ring was created by Sauron in order to control the other rings of power and that it must be destroyed in order to defeat him. Gandalf recounts the history of the ring, including how it was lost and found by Bilbo, and how he himself came to know of its existence. He reveals that he has been researching the ring's power and has discovered that it is indeed the One Ring, and that Sauron is searching for it. The chapter ends with Gandalf revealing that he has a plan to destroy the ring but that it will be a dangerous and difficult journey. He urges Frodo to take the ring and flee the Shire, warning him that Sauron's forces are closing in. Frodo accepts the responsibility and sets out on his journey with Sam, his loyal friend and gardener, and Strider, who reveals himself to be a skilled ranger named Aragorn. Overall, The Shadow of the Past is a pivotal chapter that sets the stage for the rest of the book. It introduces the key characters of Gandalf, Aragorn, and Strider, and reveals the true nature and power of the ring. It also establishes the central conflict of the story, as Frodo and his companions set out to destroy the ring and defeat Sauron. Chapter 3 is company from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring follows Frodo, Sam, and Pippin as they leave the Shire and begin their journey to destroy the One Ring. This chapter focuses on the challenges they face as they travel through unfamiliar terrain and encounter dangerous creatures. The chapter begins with Frodo, Sam, and Pippin leaving the safety of the Shire and entering the wilderness beyond. They soon realize that they are being pursued by Black Riders, who they believe to be servants of Sauron. The hobbits are forced to hide and evade the riders, but they soon realize that they are hopelessly outmatched and must find a way to escape. They encounter a group of elves who provide them with shelter and advice, and tell them to seek the help of a man named Tom Bombadil. The hobbits follow the elves' advice and make their way to the house of Tom Bombadil, a mysterious figure who lives in the heart of the forest. Tom is able to help the hobbits by using his magical powers to neutralize the power of the ring, and he provides them with food, shelter, and guidance. After spending several days with Tom, the hobbits continue on their journey, with the goal of reaching the town of Bree, where they hope to meet up with Gandalf. Along the way, they encounter a group of menacing trolls, who are eventually defeated with the help of Tom's magic. The hobbits also meet a group of traveling dwarves, who are initially suspicious of them but eventually become friendly. They offer the hobbits food and advice, and tell them about the dangers that lie ahead. The hobbits continue on their journey, but they soon realize that they are being followed by a sinister figure named Gollum, who seems to have a strange connection to the ring. As they near the town of Bree, the hobbits are attacked by a group of Black Riders. They are saved by the arrival of Strider, who reveals that he is a friend of Gandalf's and offers to guide them to safety. Strider helps them enter the town of Bree, where they are able to rest and resupply before continuing on their journey. Overall, Three's Company is a chapter that focuses on the challenges faced by Frodo, Sam, and Pippin as they begin their journey to destroy the One Ring. It introduces several new characters, including Tom Bombadil and Strider, and establishes the dangers that the hobbits will face as they travel through unfamiliar territory. The chapter also highlights the importance of friendship and trust, as the hobbits must rely on the help of others to survive their journey. Chapter 4, A Shortcut to Mushrooms from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring continues the journey of Frodo, Sam, and Pippin as they make their way to Rivendell, where they hope to find safety and counsel. This chapter focuses on the hobbits' encounter with a group of mischievous hobbits and their dangerous journey through the Old Forest. The chapter begins with the hobbits leaving the town of Bree and heading towards the Old Forest. They are warned of the dangers of the forest by both Strider and the innkeeper at the Prancing Pony, but they decide to take a shortcut through the forest to save time. Along the way, they encounter a group of hobbits named Merry, Pippin, and Fredegar, Fatty, Bolger, who offer to accompany them through the forest. As they make their way through the forest, the hobbits soon realize that they are lost and that the forest seems to be alive and hostile. They are attacked by a malevolent tree named Old Man Willow, who captures Frodo and tries to drown him in the river. The hobbits are eventually able to free Frodo with the help of Tom Bombadil, who arrives just in time to save them. Tom leads the hobbits to his home, where they spend the night and rest before continuing on their journey. The hobbits are once again warned of the dangers ahead and are told to avoid the Barrow Downs, a haunted area near their path. However, the hobbits become lost once again and are eventually captured by a group of Barrow Wights. The Barrow Wights put the hobbits under a spell and prepare to sacrifice them, but Frodo is able to break the spell with the help of his sword, which he had acquired in Bree. The hobbits are able to escape and make their way to the edge of the forest. Once they have left the forest, the hobbits continue on their journey towards Rivendell. They reflect on the dangers they have faced so far and the importance of sticking together and relying on each other. They also realize that their journey will only become more dangerous as they get closer to their goal. Overall, A Shortcut to Mushrooms is a chapter that highlights the dangers of the journey that Frodo, Sam, and Pippin are undertaking. It introduces several new characters, including Merry, Pippin, and Fatty Bolger, and establishes the importance of the hobbits' friendship and trust in each other. The chapter also sets the stage for the challenges that the hobbits will face in the chapters to come, as they make their way closer to their goal of destroying the One Ring. Chapter 5, A Conspiracy Unmasked from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring continues the journey of Frodo, Sam, and Pippin as they make their way to Rivendell, but shifts the focus to the hobbits' return to the Shire and their discovery of a plot against Frodo. The chapter begins with the hobbits returning to the Shire, where they are greeted with suspicion by many of their fellow hobbits. It becomes clear that someone has been spreading rumors about them and their travels, and they soon discover that a group of hobbits, including Frodo's relative, Frodo Baggins, have been working to take over the Shire and its resources. Frodo, Sam, and Pippin decide to investigate the situation and discover that Lotho has been in league with a group of men from outside the Shire, including a mysterious figure named Sharky. They also learn that the old Hobbiton mill has been destroyed and replaced with a large, ugly factory, which is churning out smoke and polluting the area. The hobbits realize that they must act quickly to stop Lotho and his allies, but they are unsure of how to proceed. They meet with their old friend, Merry, who has been working to organize a resistance movement within the Shire. Together, they hatch a plan to take back control of the Shire and defeat Lotho and his allies. The chapter ends with the hobbits setting off on their mission, armed with weapons and supplies from Merry. They are determined to restore the Shire to its former state and protect it from the threat posed by Lotho and Sharky. Overall, A Conspiracy Unmasked is a chapter that focuses on the hobbits' return to the Shire and their discovery of the threat posed by Lotho and his allies. It introduces a new conflict within the story, which is separate from the larger quest to destroy the One Ring, but is still a significant challenge for the hobbits to overcome. The chapter also highlights the importance of friendship and loyalty among the hobbits, as they work together to protect their home and way of life. Chapter 6 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring is titled The Old Forest and follows Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin as they embark on their journey to Rivendell. The chapter begins with the hobbits leaving the Shire and entering the Old Forest. The Old Forest is a dark and mysterious place, and the hobbits are warned to stay on the path and not to wander off. However, Pippin becomes curious and decides to take a shortcut, leading the hobbits astray and into danger. The hobbits become separated from each other, and Frodo and Sam find themselves trapped by the malevolent trees of the forest. They are rescued by Tom Bombadil, a strange and mysterious figure who lives in the heart of the forest with his wife, Goldberry. Tom Bombadil is a strange and whimsical character who seems to be able to control the forest and its inhabitants. He rescues the hobbits from the trees and brings them to his home, where they stay the night. The next day, Tom Bombadil shows the hobbits a way out of the forest, and they continue their journey to Rivendell. Along the way, they encounter a group of malevolent Barrow Wights, who nearly capture and kill the hobbits. They are saved by Tom Bombadil once again, who appears to have powers beyond their understanding. The chapter ends with the hobbits finally making it to the house of Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. They rest there for a time, and Tom teaches them a song that they will use to help them on their journey. The hobbits are grateful for Tom's help, but they are also left feeling uneasy about his strange powers and mysterious nature. Overall, The Old Forest is a chapter that serves to introduce the hobbits to the dangers of the world beyond the Shire. It also introduces the character of Tom Bombadil, who is a significant figure in the story and plays an important role in the hobbit's journey. The chapter emphasizes the importance of staying on the path and not straying into danger, as well as the value of unexpected allies in times of crisis. Finally, it highlights the sense of unease and mystery that permeates the world outside of the Shire, hinting at the larger dangers that the hobbits will face on their journey to destroy the One Ring.